Now, let's enter into mitosis proper. Let's enter into what? Mitosis proper. Now, you see the last part of the cell cycle is called what? The last part of the cell cycle is called what? Are you seeing the cycle? Interphase and what? It ends with what? M, which is what? Mitosis. That's the last part of the what? Cell cycle. And it has how many phases? It has what? 4 phases. So the mitosis has what? 4 phases. Now, this... Okay, people are copying this. I was thinking that they will still give people the slide. Okay, let's be calm. Are we following? Some of you snapping all these things. I don't think it's proper to what? Use your camera. I don't think. It's allowed. Okay, let's continue. Now, we are talking about what? Mitosis. Why I took my time to explain this is that many people normally put interphase as what? Mitosis. Have you seen that interphase is a separate body? Do you understand? So it does nothing concerning interphase with what? A kind of being inside what? Mitosis. So interphase is a special part before we enter what? Mitosis. Are we following? Are we following? Now, coming to the mitosis. Mitosis is this my topic. That's what I came to teach, which is what? Cell what? Division. That is the main word, cell division. So in mitosis, that when cells start what? Dividing, like they what? Divide. And it is the last part of the what? Cell cycle. After the cell pass through the G1, the S, and the G2, it now enter what? Mitosis. And it will start what? Dividing. Now, we have the stages, and there are what? 4 stages, which are what? P, that's prophase. M is what? A is what? T is what? So we normally call it P what? P mat. That is the code. So we have the metaphase. We have the what? Anaphase. And we have the what? Telo what? Phase. Now, these stages are very, very important. They are very, very what? Because that will make up your questions. Most questions they ask, exam questions, they is going through these what? Phases. So you must know each stage and what happens at any point in what? Time. Now, we have the prophase. Prophase. Are we seeing the prophase now? The cell begins the division process with what? Prophase. That's the first stage of mitosis. What we call it is what? Prophase. I'm still here. I'm still here. Do you understand? So, we say that the first stage is what? Prophase. Prophase is the first stage of what? It's the first stage of what? Cell what? Division. Now, before I will go into this prophase, let's just give a sketch of nucleus. Of what? Of a what? A nucleus. Now, we know a cell, bah? This is a cell. Right? So, and we know we are talking about both, if we are talking about, we can talk about both animal and what? Plant cell, right? Now, if this is a cell, and here is the what? Here is the what? Nucleus. Here is the what? Nucleus, right? Now, what do we call this? If this is an animal cell, what do we call this? We call this what? We call this cell. We call this cell membrane. We call this what? We call this what? Cell membrane. Are we following? Are we following? Now, what? Okay. There's a dark patch here. What is the name of this dark patch? It is called what? Nuclear what? Loose. It is called what? Nuclear loose. Are we following? Now, what is this thing called? What is it called? What is this thing called? It's called what? Nuclear what? Membrane. It is called what? It is called nuclear what? Membrane. It is called nuclear what? Membrane. So, now, what do we call this opening? There's a little opening here. What do we call the opening? Eh? Hey! Somebody say lysosome. Where are you from? Eh? So, this thing is called what? It is called what? It is called nuclear what? Pore. It is called what? It is called nuclear what? Pore. So this is one of the basic things you need to know about a cell and its what? Nucleus. Now, everything here can be called what? Everything here can be called what? You can call everything here what? Nucleus. So everything here you can call it what? Are we following? Are we following? Are we following? Now, look at this. I know why I'm explaining this. Now, there's what we call central. That's what we call what? I've heard about centros. I've heard about centros. Now, the centros is, it can be here. The centros, it can be anywhere. Do you understand? Now, if you read about the centros as organelle, as an organelle, they will tell you that its function is for what? Cell what? Division. Its function is for what? Cell division. Now, what happens is that, just let's look at this, the way this cell is like this. Let's just make another diagram here, because we need to really understand what happens in this mitosis. Now, let's make another diagram here. Now, we are bringing the nucleus to the center, right? Now, and let's assume that what is in this nucleus is you see chromosomes, right? You see chromosomes, right? Now, you now see the centros. You now see the what? Centros. Or you now see what we call it aster. We call it aster. What do I say? Aster is when it has something, it's looking like a star. Do you understand? Yeah. It is two. Do you understand? So, that means this is the nucleus, bar. Are we following? Now, why you need to understand this is that as you are going down, you'll be seeing what happens in what? Prophase. You'll be seeing what happens in what? Prophase. Now, with this, I will be explaining step by step. So, in prophase, the nucleus what? The nucleus what? Are you seeing? We are coming to prophase, right? So we will be defining prophase with this. So, are you seeing the nucleus? It's what? Disappears. It's no longer what? Here. Are we following? Those at the back, are we following? Are we following? I said that the nucleus what? Disappears. Sure, we know that the nucleus is a part of the nucleus, right? Yes. And look at the nucleus. Are you seeing it? So at the prophase, what happens to the nucleus? So if they ask you in your exam, the stage in which whereby the nucleus what disappears is what stage? Prophase. Is that what? Prophase. Now let's continue. These are the questions they ask. In prophase, the nuclear membrane breaks what? Apart. In prophase, the nuclear membrane breaks what? Apart. Do you understand? So, in prophase, what happened again is what? Nuclear membrane what? Breaks what? Apart. Now, this is the nuclear membrane, right? Yeah. This is nuclear membrane. Now, look at, in prophase, is a way that you don't see this nuclear membrane what? Again. I think I will find a better, let me look for, because all these diagrams, you're not going to see it. Look at, there's a better diagram you will see. Now, are we seeing this diagram? Yes. Now, are you seeing the centros? Are you seeing the centros? Which I called the individual aster, right? Aster. Are we seeing that one? I wish that's exactly what is happening. That's both of them are called what? Centrioles. But you can still call what? Aster. Do you understand? Now, are we seeing the nucleus? Are you seeing the nuclear membrane? Another name for nuclear membrane is what? Nuclear what? Envelope. Are you seeing the nuclear what? Envelope. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay. Now let's look at this prophase. Now, you are still seeing the asters, right? You are still seeing the chromosomes consisting of what? Sister what? Chromatid. So you now know what is sister chromatid is, right? You know what is sister chromatid is, right? Okay. Now, what did I say it disappears? First of all, the nucleus what? What happens is what? The nucleus what? Disappears. Let's go back again. The chromosome becomes what? So, the chromosome becomes what? Visible. When doing interphase, the chromosome, they are not what? Visible. And you should know that what we are treating, all these things we are seeing is a microscopic what? Structure. We study with a what? A microscope. Electronic what? Microscope. So, if you are viewing the cell in the stage of interphase, you don't see the what? You don't see the what? So, when you start seeing chromosome becoming visible, you know that you are entering what? Prophase. We are in what? Prophase. Are we following? Are we following? Secretary, are you writing? Okay. The next one is what? Can we read together, class? So, in this prophase, what happened is what? The spindle apparatus forms. The spindle what? Apparatus. The spindle what? Apparatus. Shall we know what is the spindle what? Apparatus. Shall? The micro what? Tubules. Now, it's something like this. If this is an aster, they form the what? Are you seeing the spindle, right? So, the spindle is being what? Formed at what? As what? Prophase. At what? Prophase. Now, there is something that happens in prophase. Are we following? Are we following? Now, we have two parts of prophase. We have what? Early prophase and what? Late prophase. Pay attention. We have what? Early prophase and what? Late prophase. Now, many students find this difficult to differentiate what happens in what? Early prophase from what? Late what? Prophase. Now, my advice to you is that what you need to know at this stage, just know what happens in what? Prophase. You understand? Know how it happens in what? Prophase. Now, when you know it will not be difficult to know what? Early and know what? Late. Do you understand? So, if you are at the back of this class and you want to move up to this podium, so your movement, when you start moving, coming here, is called what? Early. When we are now here, it is called what? Late. Do you understand? So, you generalize knowing everything that happens throughout the what? Journey. So, when you are still here, it's called what? Early. When you are now here, it's called what? Late. So, what you need to know, just know what happens in prophase. The first thing that happens are called what? Early. The last thing that happens is called what? Late prophase. So, if they ask you, which of these happens at early what? Prophase? Formation of spindle fibers. Is it true? No. But when they mention nucleus disappear, chromosome becomes visible. Do you understand? So those first things that happen are things that happen in what? Early what? Prophase. So you don't need to come and start cramming them. Do you understand? And sometimes in exams, they don't go deep to tell you what happens in early and what happens in what? Late. They just ask you, which of these occurs in what? Prophase. Are we following? So just have that mentality that anything that comes first is what? Early. You can see early prophase in diagram and you can see late prophase. Looking at the slide, you see early and you see what? Late. Now, that's early. Just think about those things that happen at the beginning of what? Prophase. Do you understand? Now, late, think about those things that happen at the ending of what? Prophase. Now, you are seeing this number 4. It's pointed towards what? Late what? Prophase. Why? 1, 2, 3 are what happens in what? early what? Prophase. So, class, what happens in prophase? Can we start from number one? What happened in prophase? Number one? The nucleus what? Disappears. Number two? Number two? Number three? The chromosome becomes what? Number four? The spindle apparatus what? Forms and attaches to the what? Centromere of the what? Chromosome. Centromere of the what? Chromosomes. Now, if they give you now another question, another thing is how to answer diagram in this topic. Now, if they give you a diagram, look at this. They will draw something like this. Okay, at the prophase, this nuclear envelope will disappear, right? Now, let's draw something like this. What is this? This is the what? The spindle tubus, right? So this is the spindle. Now, we see this, right? What is at the center is what? Centromere. And it will attach to this spindle with what? With the centromere, right? So they say that the spindle apparatus forms. These are the spindle what? Apparatus. And what? And what? Attaches to the what? Centromere. So it attaches to the what? Centromere of the what? Chromosome. And it's attached to the what? Centromere of the what? Chromosome. Are we following? Are we following? So this is what happens in what? Prophase. This is what happens in what? In prophase. So when they give you a diagram like this and they put something like this, it is a diagram of what? Prophase. Now, to add to this, now this aster, we talked about the aster, right? The centros, it's not in this slide, but they can still ask you, movement of aster to the opposite poles of the cell occurs at what stage? It's still prophase. Do you understand? So the movement of aster to the poles of the cell occurs at the stage what? Prophase. It's not in the slide, but you can add it. Do you understand? Yeah. So what happens? We are seeing the asters, right? Yeah. The asters are here. Look at it. Let's assume they are here before. The asters, that's the centros. Now, before they can form this kind of diagram, you have seen this, right? Yeah. What will happen? Share one needs to come like this, ba? Yeah. And this one needs to come like this. Yeah. Before they can give this shape. Are we following? Yeah. So, the process whereby the asters move to opposite poles occurs at the what? It occurs at the what? Prophase. So movement of the centros to the opposite pole of the cell occurs at the stage of what? Prophase. And remember, it is from this aster. Are we following? It is from this aster that this spindle tubus develop from. Do you understand? It is just like a star. It has these tentacles. Have you seen it? From here, it will now start developing what? Spindle. This one will start developing what? Spindle. And they will join together and give this kind of shape. Are you following? They will produce this kind of what? Shape. Now, as still in what? Prophase, this chromosome will be attached to the what? Spindle fibers. So it's correct, ba? So these chromosomes attached to the spindle fibers at what stage? These are questions you'll be seeing. At what? It's not because it's not in the slide. These are questions they ask. The centromere of the chromosome attaches to the what? Spindle fiber at the what? Prophase. Are we following? So this is everything that happens in what? Prophase. And if they now go deeper, trying to go early prophase, late prophase, you know that the things that happens at the beginning of the prophase stage is what? Early. Now, talking about attachment, spindle fiber should be what? Late prophase. Share is simple, right? Yeah. It's simple. Okay. We'll still recap, but let's look at the next. Can you move the slide to the next? Okay. Can you help me move the slide? I think the pointer is not working. Let's look at the next phase. Now, the next phase is what? According to our PMAT, the next one is what? The next one is what? Metaphase. Now, metaphase. Okay, it's working now. Metaphase is the what? Is the what? Second phase of what? Mitosis. Those at the back, can we say it? Metaphase is the what? It's not showing? Okay. Metaphase is the what? Second phase of what? Mitosis. Metaphase is the what? Second phase of what? Mitosis. Now, in metaphase, what happens? The nuclear membrane is what? Completely what? Gone. The nuclear membrane is what? Completely what? Gone. So, in metaphase, you will not see the nuclear what? Membrane at all. So, do you know what is nuclear membrane? Nuclear membrane is what you call it nuclear what? Envelope. Now, in prophase, you can be seeing something like a kind of remnant of the what? Nuclear what? Membrane. You know that this one is not nuclear membrane, right? This is what? Cell membrane. The only thing you are talking about is what happens inside the what? Nucleus. Are we following? Are we following? Now, what is the second thing that happens? Now, the duplicated chromosomes lines up our what? Along the what? Cell equator. Now, what happens is that in metaphase, when you hear meta, M-A-T-A, just think about center. Do you understand? At the equator. You know, when they draw a circle and they say that equator is fair, it's like this, bah? So, at the metaphase, these chromosomes will move. You know, at the anaphase, you just see chromosomes, bah? You just see chromosomes, bah? At the spindle, right? Now, at the metaphase, they will be moving to the what? Center. I think I will see a perfect diagram. Now, look at the, this is the prophase, right? This is the prophase, right? Now, look at the late prophase. Are you seeing it? Now, look at the metaphase. These diagrams are not actually very, very correct because this thing looks like the metaphase, right? If it is the prophase, these chromosomes we are seeing, they will not be at the what? Center. Do you understand? They will not be at the what? Center. Look at, this one is at the center, bah? Are you seeing them? This is what you call metaphase plate or what? Equator. This is what you call metaphase plate or what? Equator. So, what happens in the metaphase is that, can we read it? Can we read it? The metaphase, what happens? Thank you. You can write it down. You can write it down. That's the main point. The main thing that happens in what? Metaphase. They move to the what? Equator. That's the center. So when you see a diagram of cell mitosis, mitotic diagram, and you come and see these chromosomes lining at the center like this, what comes to your mind? Metaphase. Can you see the spindle? You can appreciate the spindle fiber, right? Look at the spindle fiber. We have seen the equator, the center. You see the chromosome. See the asters at the opposite pole. You see the same. You can continue your diagram. I think this point is having small mental what? Secondary to what? Secondary to what? May God help you in Jesus' name. Amen. So, metaphase, the word chromosomes are aligned at what? Equator. The chromosomes are aligned at the what? Equator. Now, you know, they can ask these questions in different formats. Do you understand? So, it can be a format of what? Diagram. If it's a format of diagram, whenever you see the mitotic diagram and the chromosomes are still close to this place, do you understand? They are not at the center. That phase is called what? That phase is called what? Prophase. That phase is called what? Prophase. The phase is called what? Prophase. But whenever you see the diagram and you see these chromosomes aligned at the equator of the nucleus, you call it what? You call it what? Metaphase. Now, okay, now let me explain this because of textbooks that go deeper. Early metaphase and what? Late metaphase. If they say early metaphase is similar to late what? Prophase. Are we following? Early metaphase is similar to what? Late prophase. Because in prophase, they attach at the what? Spindle, right? Yeah. Now, they will start, you know, they say that they will be at the equator. Will they disappear and appear at the equator, right? Their movement to the center is called, we call it early what? Metaphase. They are moving to the what? Center. Are you getting it? So, whenever they use early and late, let it not what? Confuse you. The main thing that happens at metaphase is that they form what? They align at the what? Equator. At the what? Center. So, anything that happens before coming to the center is called what? Early what? Metaphase. It's called what? Early what? Metaphase. Are we following? Are we following? Now, let's look at anaphase. That's the late metaphase. Is that at the equator? That's the last thing. That we are moving from the backside, and you come here, and here is the center. So, what is the last thing that happened? That place you are is the last thing that happened. Do you understand? Just the same way in prophase, they now come after every story. All the stories are telling you in prophase. They end by telling you that the chromosomes are attached at the what? Spindle fibers. Full what? Stop. What is the late prophase? That's the last thing they will do in prophase. They will now, once they attach at the what? Spindle, prophase is what? Achieved. So that thing is the last. But when they say nuclear envelope disappears, nucleus disappears, all those things, they're talking about what? Early. They are still coming up. You understand? Until they arrive at what? Late what? Prophase. Now, metaphase, during the time of coming to the center, you understand? They are going to Egypt, you understand? The movement is what? Early. But once they come to the center and stay, it is what? Late what? Metaphase. And that is metaphase. And that is what? Metaphase. Are we following? Now, let's look at another funny one, which is called what? Anaphase. So, make sure, just make sure you are drawing these diagrams. Okay, the slide. Oh, now, this class is really advanced. It's university, slide. They will send slides to you. It's very well. You pay for the slide. It's a handout, right? Our media team will tell you how much. Each slide, you pay money. You don't want me to make money. That's how lecturers make money now. 1.5. So, calculate 1.5. I am very serious. I will put password. I will lock it. 1.5. I'll put my account number. Once you pay, I will give you the code. Oh yeah, can we continue? We will share the slide. So can we continue? So, anaphase. What's up? Can we read, class? Those at the back, can we all read together? 1 to go. They move apart and travel to the what? They travel to the opposite end of what? Thank you. Now, in anaphase, you know, they moved from here and they arrive at the what? Center. What the next thing? They'll start going what? Home. What is going home in Igbo? Making it ana. That's what happens in what? Anaphase. You understand? Ana. They'll start what? Going what? Home. You understand? So in anaphase, it's very simple. Once you see ana, they are what? Ana. You understand? They are going what? Home. So in anaphase, what appeared at this what? Equator. Are you seeing it? They will start going home. Are you seeing the diagram? The slide. What are they doing? Men are rushing what? Home. You understand? Now, they have divided. You see, they will now divide. You notice what's happened? Do you notice what's happened? They will now divide into chromatids. Into what? Chromatids. Sister what? Chromatids. Can we appreciate it? You notice? In the division, when I say appreciate, or below what you are thinking, I'm on secondary school, eager. So, now when you see the ashtar, when you see them, you know normally they are arranged like this bar. And this stage is called what? The stage is called what? This stage is called what? Metaphase. The stage is called what? Metaphase. This stage is called what? Now, they want to go. You understand? So, these are sister what? Chromatids that join together to form a what? Chromosome. Now they will divide. You see something like this. To your tent, oh what? Thank you. They will now divide like this. Do you get something that was joined together? Remember a diagram of chromosome bar? You understand? This one will start going what? This way. This one will start going what? Is it making sense? Is it making sense? And how they do it, how they move, it is not that they are moving like a cable car. You know that cable car? No, they're not moving on the spindle. The movement is the shortening of the what? Spindle. Do you notice that the spindles are shortening? Yeah. So the spindle, they'll be shortening. And remember, what is attached to the spindle are these chromosomes. So when the spindle fiber breaks at the center and they start shortening, we now notice the movement of the what? Chromatids. So the what? Pose. They're moving to the what? Pose. Can you appreciate that? They're moving to the what? Pose. The centromere is still, it divides at that point of centromere. This one still have a place of attachment. This one still have a place of what? Attachment. But they just divide into two. Into what? Chromatids. You notice at this point, hello, they start using the word what? Chromatids. They start moving to the opposite word? Pose. Like, I see the diagram. See the daughter what? Chromosomes. See the chromatids. They are moving. Look at the slide again. Can we see the slide? Let's look at it again. So we are seeing the what? Look at this. They're now going what? Home. This one they're now what? Going what? Home. And there is shortening of what? Spindle what? Fibers. There is shortening of what? Spindle fibers. Now let's look at the other. Let's go up and see what they said. Now anaphase. They said is what? The third phase of what? The third phase of what? Mitosis. What happened? Diploid sets of daughter chromosomes separate. Diploid set of daughter chromosomes what? Separate. Diploid cell of daughter chromosomes what? Separate. Diploid set of daughter chromosomes what? Separate. They are, you are seeing it now? Are you not seeing it? Diploid set of daughter chromosomes what? Separate. Now, what did they say? The second one, they are what? Pushed and pulled towards opposite the post of the cell by the what? By the what? So, a question, shortening of spindle fibers occurs at what stage? Are you seeing the kind of question? The shortening of spindle fibers occurs at the what? Anaphase. Occurs at the what? Anaphase. Occurs at the what? Anaphase. So anaphase, the third phase of mitosis, diploid sets of daughter chromosomes separate, right? And they are pushed. They move to the opposite what? Poles. That is the ana. They will start going home. They will start going what? Home. Next slide, ba.